it looks impressive.
I
keep
forgot to just unmute us. That's my fault. So, hello. Sorry for the silence for a while as we've all been just talking along. So, essentially, what just happened, um, we opened it up, we rebranded a bit. I mentioned that I forgot to fucking press unmute. Um, Kelda, there was a knock at the door. Kelda answered it. There was a letter from the head, the master of magic, Luna? Yeah, Luna. Basically ranting and raving, saying how she has agents watching all of them, and how, like, she told them to be subtle, and that next time you better be subtle. And then, yeah, they were talking about moving, and Kelda was like, "I don't need the stuff, but it's aesthetic, so, and it's mine."
Plus, Kelda and the mailman did their whole song and dance while Nox looked on in horror.
Oh yeah, that happened too. So sorry, continue. I just happened to look over and I saw, oh shit, we weren't unmuted. I wish there was like a multi-action for the Steam Deck. For when I click a button, it does like multiple things. That'd be nice. Anyways, continue.
I got cut off mid-rant and I don't know what I was doing.
Talking about your aesthetic.
Your armors. Mason was like, you really need 20 sets of armor? I only need one, personally.
I don't need them. They're good to have, and also, you know, I can sell them for things. And they're not just mine.
Alright, so, we're technically on strike 2. We skipped over strike 1. So, I think we need to plan a little bit more carefully so we don't get strike 3 and, get our new compatriot here kicked out of her home.
So, next steps?
Spinner is actually just thinking about that last moment. He's like, I had never considered that someone would want to stay.
You know, you build up connections in an area, and you kind of don't want to lose those. They're useful.
Yeah, usually you like to call in favors from time to time, or, you know, like to build a little repertoire. So,
Exactly.
if you lose that, it's like you lose years of your life and hard work. Understandable, I get it myself.
I do not.
Like a faith?
Let's go with that.
Yeah, let's go with that.
I would not want to lose Uller. Alright. I was hoping to go find the scent of whoever was watching us, in case it led to something more substantial. But
Yes, I don't like the fact we're being watched and tracked.
That's what I was gonna ask. Usually I try to keep a good eye about things, but I didn't never notice anybody tracking us. Ox, you think it could be a spell? Like, you know, just observing us without us being able to detect it?
She did specifically say people watching us.
Didn't you? Wasn't there someone on a roof?
Yeah, but that was to see the damage. That was like further away. So
I could still imagine wizards being people, especially here.
Wizards are people, yes.
yes.
So it would be difficult to have someone nearby us constantly without my nose or any of your eyes picking it up.
Yes, so I think
I
we
have
may
to imagine that she has wizards.
Yeah, we may just have some magical eyes on our backs.
As long as it's only her, I don't mind too much. But I suppose if we get enough problems, if the enemy knows us well enough, they might be keeping an eye on us.
Yeah.
He's actually gonna like slowly look over to Nox and be like, "Do they have any way to ward against such things?"
You can prevent being tracked by non-magical means, but preventing being tracked by magical means is a lot more complicated.
There's no
Given
item
who it
that
is we're
keeps you
dealing
from
with.
being watched.
Short of finding the one watching us.
No, I was hoping to keep you from being watched. If she can do it, then someone else can.
Unfortunately, the magic that I know is all, to help with work.
Well, the magic I know is kind of hodgepodge of a lot of different things, but nothing off the top of my head. A DM, would my character know anything?
Your first thought could be, well, it might be a spirit, but I haven't seen any spirits around us, so
Yeah.
couldn't be
that's
something
okay.
like that.
Yeah.
I just want to let you guys know what Fenrir doesn't know is that there's a spell called non-detection, and there are also items that let you cast it. And the only thing they do is basically keep you from being spied on.
Is non-detection a wizard spell, though?
Probably.
I think so.
Yeah, which,
It's one of those like, haha,
Well,
let's
I
give you a
could
really
learn
niche.
that. If it's a wizard spell, I could learn it.
We could also go buy something that does it for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or steal something.
So but he'll just continue as like, well then until then we will need to keep in mind the possibility that they're watching us.
mhm.
I doubt they'll be watching us from a point that any individual action could react to us in a moment's notice. But if we make grand moves across several days, they might get forewarning.
I just really, sorry, out of character, I just realized I don't know anything about Mason, because we've never been in the same session,
Oh, we've had
Oh.
one session together.
or one session.
Yeah. You need me to describe him?
Yes, please.
A human with a kind of like Inquisitor hats, studded leather armor, black coat over his shoulders, with kind of like a constant 5 o'clock shadow and like baggy eyes, slight tan to him, with a rapier on his hip.
He's a cowboy.
He's a cowboy detective.
I do wonder, because I can see that he's a rogue, if even in passing they would know anything about each other's reputations.
Ew.
She would maybe have heard of my character's reputation, if I had to say. I don't know if I
Yeah.
had heard. Yeah.
You would have heard whispers every now and again about him.
do
Nothing
feel like
too
he-
specific.
Right. I feel
Just
like
that
he
he
would know
deals in
about my
like
family.
strange matters with beings unseen by normal people.
Right. I feel like he would know about my family, if not about me specifically.
Oh, he probably would.
Yeah.
I don't have a three-way chat. I should have a three-way chat. I really should. Alright. Well, so that other people don't hear us over, I'm gonna just go down to the one-on-one. I made it a 3-on. So,
Okay.
Oh.
we'll be
Can I
back.
jump in there real quick?
Yep. Mason. The fuck you do? Okay. No, what the fuck happened to Mason? I can hear you. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck just happened to Mason. Oh, there you are.
Sorry, hit the wrong thing.
Okay. So, Kelda, go ahead and tell him about your family.
Yeah, my family is essentially the mob, in Kraken's Republic in York. So it's a family of career criminals that run a tavern called the Half Pint. Um, and I've followed into the business. And they're also after Knox's gem, I think it was.
Yeah.
'Cause he kind of technically stole it from us,
Yes.
ish.
Oh lord.
Yeah.
You two, what I haven't told you any of this before, but Nox is familiar with another family, another rival mafia that is within the Kraken's Republic. I forget the exact name of the. Let me just go back really quickly so that I can get the character's name, because I believe he's still in here. Yes. So you both know of, but Kelda, you know a little bit more of the Infernus family, who is a rival mob inside the Kraken's Republic. However, they are more. If I go into maps really quickly, because I know he's in the regular one, for the Kraken's Republic, you know that they mostly deal within the town of Gresse, whereas you and your family mainly control the capital.
Right.
And Grisse is the town to the south. So you also know of that family, but Nox is more familiar with them in terms of in our personal relationship than with your family.
Right.
All right. I
Oh.
wonder if I can do no. Nope. Okay. Just go back up to the normal chat, normal sessions.
Okay.
Okey-dokey.
All right, we are back.
18.
To double check my passive perception would be 20.
Let's see. What is my passive? I should double check too. 19 for mine.
God, you're all really loud all of a sudden.
The creator's passive perception is 32.
That'd be infinite.
But
He is the creator.
we were just discussing, like, yeah, we think it's very unlikely that someone's been watching us this whole time and none of us ever noticed. We're basically just convinced that it must be scrying.
Okay. Alrighty. Moving on. So, you guys got this letter. Shit went down. Are we gonna go?
Dinner will bring it up. He's like, I really want to go where we saw that man and track down if I can find anything. The longer we wait, the more likely the trail goes dead. But I wasn't certain if you wanted to, how do they say, lay low?
Well, as much as I hate to say this, I just know some of us, like for me, for instance, I'm running low on magic. So I think some of us that may need to get a little bit extra rest should probably just stay here. So we may just have to split things up. Plus, after a big incident like this, we all don't want to be seen in the same location.
I could go. You could give me your companion. Seem to know what it knows.
Yeah, so I think I said it was like an owl that I just turned my familiar in. I'll just say that now.
Yeah, I
So
believe
just
it
give
was
him
an
my
owl.
Yeah, so I'll just give you my owl familiar.
can join you. Fenrir. Make sure no one's going alone, necessarily.
I look somewhat surprised, but welcoming. It's like,
Fenrir, welcoming of people? Interesting.
That
Probably
might
because
help.
she's snack sized.
he seems kind of happy that she volunteered to go alone with the werewolf. Not something he
Like I said,
expected.
Little Red Riding Hood.
I would appreciate the
Won't
backup.
necessarily be useful in the tracking side of things, but I can stay hidden and I can help if anything goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Worst
would be
case scenario, you can throw her at people like a Pokemon.
So Mason and Nox, what are you two gonna try to do?
Nox wants to try and repair the letter.
Okay.
And Mason's probably gonna do, if like it's fine with him, examine the the oil flask. I think we said like it had like properties of like, what was it, lead in it when we like examined it last?
Oh,
Or was that
yeah.
something else?
I think that was something else.
Yeah.
I think that was more of a
think
powder.
Yeah, so Mason would like to examine like that oil that you know, that
Okay.
Nox got.
So I'll start with you two, since you two are the quickest to remedy. So Nox, how are you gonna repair this letter?
Mending.
Alrighty. So you cast Mending, and it repairs this letter. What you realize is this isn't actually a letter. This is more of a list of things needed and a list of things to do.
It's a recipe.
For
So-
death and destruction.
Is a recipe,
The best
Um,
kind.
and it is a recipe for a magic circle, a giant magic circle, one that spans almost the entirety of the city. The what you found out to be as gunpowder and the oil were to be mixed and make up the magic circle so that it wouldn't be easily destroyed by a random droplet of water or someone throwing shit down into the sewer.
So it wasn't. So it...
The chalk was supposed to connect in with it at its center point to complete out the circle, and that's where the train station entrance was supposed to be.
Well, we put a little bit of a dent in their plans.
Yes.
Is there any identifying marks on the letter?
There is one
I need.
at the bottom right hand corner. I forgot what I gave them as the code names. Is a insignia that looks like a bull.
Well, let's say we've got our categorical evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Evidence you wanted for the principal?
Well, we definitely are suspicious that the principal is being manipulated.
Oh, I'm sorry. I get their leaders confused all the time. The girl.
Oh, the magistrates.
Mhm.
Mistress of Magic, or whatever she's called. The bitch.
If you wanted to immediately, couldn't you send it? Although I would prefer you take it in person.
I'm not dealing with that postman.
He's not that bad.
I would still
He just
rather
gives you a look.
know that it reached her hands by an ally's word.
Yes, especially since any other third party can be intercepted, so best face to face.
No, it's perfect.
Kelda, could you make an accurate copy of this?
But I could have a go of it.
We would keep the copy for ourselves.
I think I'd keep the original for ourselves.
Yeah, best to keep always keep the original, because we could always make more copies. But if we lose the original,
It doesn't seem
If we
like
find-
much evidence if it's a copy, is it?
Yes, but if we find anyone capable of tracking it by anything that's on it, I would rather have the original than give them a copy.
All right.
Okay, and then doing that, would that be a sleight of hand to try and copy it?
I presume a forgery.
Yeah, forgery.
Mason, do you have forgery tools?
no, he has what was it? Double check my notes.
Cartographer.
But no, he has painter supplies, thieves' tools, and disguise kits. So yeah.
Painter's tools
Yeah, I
could
got-
work as well.
If you both wanted to work on that while we went to track down this mystery person, go bring it to her to get her back on our side.
Before he handed the letter to Kelda as well, he would have wafted it at Fenrir to see if there was any lingering sense of the ball on it.
I'm just imagining Nox, you're over a table, Fenrir's to your right, and Kelda's right next to him, and you just like lift up the feather, wave it in front of his nose, and is like, got anything?
Yeah, pretty much.
The bearded human just kind of looks at you and is like, "Yes, the dead man."
Well, I
Or
very
the one
much
you
doubt
got
we
it off
killed the
of.
ball.
All right, so Mason's gonna transcribe the letter because he has the painter's tools.
I want to double check with you, DM. The only sin I'm gonna get from it is the person we got it off of. I presume.
Yes. Yeah,
Uh,
and fire.
Like anything else is gonna be pretty absurd to pick up. Like, oh yes, I get a major scent of this person. We know is dead,
Oh,
but I get him.
I can
Oh, my
smell
bad.
a cow.
Oh, my bad. I double checked. Technically, all Mason really does have is ink, oil, paper. He has the capabilities of the skills, the tools, skill set
Oh,
of
so you
painters.
you
Yeah.
have you have proficiency, not the tools themselves.
Yeah.
Well,
Had to double check.
Kelda's bound to
are in
have
a rogue's
paper and ink
household.
somewhere around this house.
Yeah, I
No-
think the
not-
proficiency is the hard part.
Elder, how many
What was
sets of crayons and colored pencils do you have?
I think that would mostly be with my wife's things and her supplies. Give me one moment, I'll check her office.
Nox's look of confidence is rapidly fading.
I mean, I can do it in regular ink and pen. It's just better to, have proper supplies, Nox.
Crayons, right.
I was just mostly joking with that one. But
He looks visibly relaxed. He looks like, he's just relieved.
Okay.
I'm proficient with the artist supplies. I was just joking around.
I think Hilda has genuinely got off, like, not looking for crayons, but looking for, like, some of the more delicate stuff that her wife may have had in her office for when she was, doing wizardly shit.
Wizardly.
Oh,
shit.
and you find what you can competently put together as a painter's kit in her office.
Okay. She can yell at me if she wants to when I find her. I take it back. It's like, all right, here you go.
Thank you very much, as he tips his hat.
From far away in your mind's eye, you hear, "How dare you?"
Like, Mace could almost hear that himself, and he's
Watching
like,
you was ousted.
he almost gives like a,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
All right.
Hilda's just stood there genuinely thinking she can be mad at me when I find her. She can be mad at me when I find her.
All right, we should get moving.
All right.
All right, you lead the way.
Mason told me where it is, I presume.
I mean, I'm pretty sure my owl would be kind of like guiding you guys.
All right, yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, we pointed it out on the roof when we first spotted them.
Yeah. It's just more like, you know,
Okay,
owl to
I
help
just wanted to
guide
double
you,
check.
but-
Yes, I have very good reason to be able to know where I'm going,
Mhm.
and there are multiple reasons why we know where we're going.
That's
Oh,
fine, you're not
I forgot to mention, on the back is a crude drawing of what the magic circle is supposed to look like.
So I take it
They-
with that we can kind of roughly figure out the points it would cross if we overlay it on a map.
Yes.
I definitely have maps available of the city.
All right. In that case, while you guys go off and do that, once Mason's got a good copy going, Knox would spend the time cross-referencing maps to get more exact details that he can bring as evidence.
As like she's showing you the map, she's like, all right, if you need any specific buildings, they're in this cupboard over here. Just general city layouts over here. I do have both the main thing, any buildings, sites, anything like that. If it's changed over the last few decades, I've got the plumbing, I've got the
So-
railway tracks.
Knox starts off looking really pleased and really impressed, and the more you go on, the more it clearly turns to suspicion.
Yeah. Hilda, you kind of notice, Mason give you, like, a sly smile, like,
Yeah, she is decked out in maps. She just kind of shrugs and is like, living in Admin City, you know, gotta take advantage of the fact that it's admin. Makes everything easier.
Are you ready to go?
Let's
Yes.
go.
All right. So as you two are comparing maps and things, you two go off over to the scene of the station. And-
While we're heading there, Fenrir's gonna like talk to her while they're like actively following the owl or whatever.
Mhm.
He'll mention like, so you already found out what I am, and you're not scared?
Look, you see some weird things in other people's homes. You get over the shock of things pretty quickly. It was just a matter of, you know, getting used to it. I mean, it's not like you're an enemy. You're a friend, so shouldn't have to worry.
Yes. I
He's a good
appreciate
boy.
it.
He's a good boy.
The
Knox, I think we just have the same idea.
no. I couldn't help but notice. Is there a task that's important to you?
Yeah, my wife's gone missing. I can't find her or anything about what happened to her. She's just gone. I haven't really gotten any leads.
All right. Well, and thanks for helping us. Once we have enough time to not be in active danger, you will have my aid.
Thank
I
you.
am rather skilled in tracking. I hope it will be helpful.
It sounds amazing, honestly. I'm very good at the sneaky stuff. Uh, I'm not strong at all.
Well, at least I can do one thing. Okay.
All
We can
right,
get
and
there
at
soon.
that point, you get to the train station plaza that is currently caved in. The guards have erected like rope barrier type things on like the edge of the things to help stop people from just falling in. They have constructed like a crude walkway to go into the building. That way people can go into the train station. It's a little crude. It is stable though, because it is mainly attached to the building itself, how they've constructed it, so it is very stable.
Fenrir's goal is to walk like straight to the building. We think we saw the person on top of
It was on top of the train station building.
from a side that's like the least connected to
Sounds-
the mess. Just literally scale the wall.
Okay. So you dip around this alleyway and you scale upwards. I should actually.
I think Kelda just kind of noticed you go to do that and just jumps on your back or something.
So you
This piggyback ride.
go onto him and you definitely smell the scent of someone. It's
Good
you
stuff.
smell it across the roof and stuff, but you hop down off the roof trying to track this scent and it is nowhere. And as you
was here.
and as you walk around the building a good number of times trying to pick up the scent, there is no scent down here. The only place where it existed was on the roof.
Yeah, he'll kind of look frustrated as he like finishes another circle and just he was here and he didn't walk off.
So magic.
Hey, magic.
Would there be any kind of like residual anything from?
I can't.
Roll me Arcana.
Okay.
First roll of the day.
That's a 7.
No.
Starting the
You
day
don't
off strong.
find. You don't find anything.
I mean, arguably, you find a whole load of.
Whole load nothing.
Diddle and squat.
Well,
I
you got the
suppose.
scent of the person that was up here, I suppose.
Yes, I could recognize it again.
So that's something.
True. You know, I've been enjoying the optimism. Didn't used to have any. I suppose we might as well go back, see if they're still planning a way. Perhaps accompany them to meet the mistress.
Alright. And you all walk home. Back to Kelda's house. As you get there, Fenrir, do you want to investigate to see if you can pick up Kelda's wife's scent whilst you're here and whilst Nox and Mason are still fiddling with maps?
Sure. Like, go around the house, be like, oh yes, there was another person here this long ago.
I think I
Um,
will kind of like
Or-
Her
show
office would
specifically her
probably
office.
be
Yeah. It's like this is hers alone. I don't come in here often. Mostly just because people need their own space sometimes.
Fenrir, you're kind of floored at the fact that it's like people need their own space. Why would they do that?
I mean, I understand that, but typically I'm used to like, oh, my space is these 4 acres.
Yeah, like why do you stay in this confined space? Like, go outside.
I also have to admit the one time where I was able to sleep in a room all day was nice.
Yes. All
Okay.
right. So, you go in, you sniff around, and you actually get a whiff of a scent that you remember.
All right.
Long, long, long ago. You
In a
remember
place far, far away.
this scent within a prison, within a dungeon, underneath a specific person's castle. Lord Petdan's castle, to be exact.
So, at doing that, the bearded man's gonna just kind of sit there and look like he's thinking a whole lot. He's not directly walking in any direction or tracking where it went or anything.
Kelda's just kind of hopping from foot to foot, kind of anxious because she's noticed that you have like a thinking face on.
It's a hand expression.
I recognize this. I was captured in no man's land and taken into a dungeon. It was in there. That must have been many months ago. Is that right? Months ago.
Oh, that would have been definitely many months ago.
Yeah, so I'm thinking 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah, about that much.
Yeah.
I have mixed feelings about this. Okay, so I know now that she's been somewhere, but she wasn't there, and it was a dungeon. Okay.
How?
Well, Fenrir, you never directly saw her
Yeah,
because she
I
was
only.
in some other cell, but you definitely recognize the scent as one of the prisoners within the.
She was. I can reasonably guess that she was actively there while I was there as a prisoner. She wasn't
Yes.
like the prisoner in my cell before me, or
No,
like
no. She
guard,
was
or like.
currently there.
Okay.
She would have been there when I was 2 or 3 months ago.
You think she'd still be there?
I think back and try to remember what exactly became of the castle. I know we escaped.
You escaped. The castle is fine. When you attempted to escape is when all the walls and things kept on moving. So, things were
Okay,
just
yeah.
like
So,
moving around. So, like,
yeah.
probably
So
still there because it was very hard to escape in the first place.
this group stumbled upon me when they were trying to escape, and I was able to aid them. But the walls of the castle moved, and I did not see any other prisoners the entire time while we were escaping.
Okay.
I could see her still being there, and I suppose that is neither the most likely nor the most hopeful, but it's a
Something
nice in between of
start.
those two.
It's more than I've had in a long time.
I will
She's
say
kind of
we are
crying a little bit.
the man who obviously imprisoned her, or at least ordered such. He is very powerful. The entire point of our missions here is to simply weaken him. He is our final stop.
Okay.
I
Definitely
even
sticking
if
with you guys then.
I
She's
want to
definitely like
apologize.
crying. Just out of relief of finally having something. Even if it's not necessarily hopeful, it's still a lead. A definite she could be alive, or at the very least was recently.
I want to apologize. We may not go to save her before we complete our missions of weakening him enough. I wouldn't trust ourselves to be able to get in and out alive before then anyways.
if helping you helps save her, I am happy to walk to the ends of the earth.
Will guide you through this harsh winter.
Uh, just overcome, she hugs him.
No.
Does Fenrir
Yeah.
hug back?
Imagine him having that
Yeah.
tolerant look that dogs
No,
get
hug
when
back.
people hug them.
He he gets a moment of being surprised, but then is hugs the small person against his legs.
So yeah, that's the scene that's happening. Is Kelda's just sobbing on Fenrir for a bit, while the others do map stuff.
All
Little
right.
bonding.
You both hear crying, sobbing, and nothing now from upstairs, and you're like,
Okay,
Yeah,
so Fenrir
Mason-
goes up with a tiny person, and then the tiny person starts screaming.
yeah.
Yeah, Mason just kind of, as he's like finishing up here all this, he's just gonna put down his artwork and just be like, I'm gonna check in on them. The Nox.
You kind of like peer, you do so, and you kind of peer the corner, and you see them both hugging, and you're kind of like, private moment.
Yeah, he's just gonna go back down.
All right. Nox, you complete the surveillance of the map. And you conclude that yes, the 4 hideouts, not the one connected to the palace, but the 4 hideouts are definitely part of the circle. And are definitely like the main 4 pillars of this magic circle as it is laid out. There are 4 circles conjoined with a massive circle.
So
And then they all collide into the center where more complicated magic circle stuff is.
So on the map, I've got, other than the one at the admin offices, there's another one that's way out. Is that included?
No.
Okay. Just checking.
No. I don't know if you were there that session, but this hideout is the exit to the underground passageway. It leads into the basement of this house and to the city.
Okay.
Just to refresh people's memories.
Oh, looking at that, that looks like the center of, or at least the cross section is near my home.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
Looked like we were well placed to disrupt it.
Yeah, any longer, and who knows what would have happened.
So what next? Do we go to see the mistress?
Just coming downstairs is looking like I've been crying. It's like, okay.
Mason will kind of notice this and be like, "You okay?"
Got some mixed news, but it's looking good.
All right.
Gotta process it first.
Take all the time. You never want to rush whenever you get information.
So, how are the maps?
Well, my suspicions about them turning the entire city into a sacrificial circle seem to be correct.
Fun.
I mean, come on, Nox. When are you ever wrong about anything?
Nox,
I was
You
hoping I
notice,
would at
and you
least be
put
wrong
it
about
down
this.
on the map, that a specific building is right smack dab in the center of the cross. If you want to refresh your map, I put a marker on there.
Oh, I don't
It's
have
the
a map
neighbors.
open.
No, it's like a block away. But this is where, like, they collide.
Dale, what did you do?
So, there is a
Well,
location where they all coalesce together.
Just south of the train station plaza.
Yep.
so do we want to check that point out, or do we want to
Definitely.
check with the? Okay. I go looking for a map of that specific area and see if I have anything on that house in particular.
The house in particular is set. It is. What kind of maps would you say you have? Like, would you say you have, like, zoning maps? Would you say you just have, like, building maps?
I think zoning maps, a collection of different things, just showing it's like, all right, this is the kind of planning, like planning permissions kind of stuff for residences going back decades.
So this particular building is zoned as like a shop for business.
Right.
You note that they have one entrance in to the south, which is where they have like a little in between inside of the block itself.
Yeah, the little alleyway kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right. I'm still going with this. With it being a shop, would I have any kind of notes from when I moved into the area of kind of like, okay, this is what these
You
places have?
noted that it's been abandoned for a while. No businesses have moved into it, and you're like, probably because of location. The location isn't great, doesn't have a lot of foot traffic, and next to it is just residential houses. So unless it was like a general store, which it doesn't look to be equipped it as, it's not going to do well. Plus, it's off like the beaten trail, so.
So I kind of relay those notes that I have to the group. It's like, yeah, that should be a shop. I know where one of the entrances is, but it's been abandoned for a while.
Though an optimal place to set up a secret hideout.
Indeed.
Oh, there immediately?
Definitely needs to be checked out.
Oh, I also wanted
Alright.
to know, what time is it and what time did we wake up last?
Right now, it's about noon.
Okay.
Yeah, technically, we haven't really rested, right? It's literally just all this has just happened in the last like 3-4 hours.
Yeah, we haven't
yeah.
rested against. We haven't rested since the big combat, but if the combat
Yeah.
happened in the morning, then it doesn't really justify immediately going to bed.
Yeah.
Perhaps an immediate
could-
short rest.
Yeah, a couple hours while we wait for it to get dark so we can scope out the area, scope out the shop.
Mhm. Yeah, better just to wait. So should we just relax here for a bit, or just go hand out what we've learned so far?
If we need to go give it to her, and we don't think that she is someone to be mistrusted, well then perhaps we should do that immediately.
Knock, knock, knock.
Oh gosh, damn it! Who is it?
I'll
It's
open the door
me!
again.
Your
He's
mailman.
not his father.
How's it going?
Hello. I heard you needed to send something.
Colo turns around and kind of gestures to the mailman. Is like, "You got something you want to send?"
I was hoping to go talk to her personally.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna send anything.
Well, we can send you through the mail.
Sounds frightening.
Mason just takes 2 steps back.
It only cracks your bones a little bit.
I think Kelda is looking very intrigued by this idea.
Oh, well, if that's all.
Send myself through the mail. If I put myself into a box, I could be delivered as a package.
Oh no, you'll be folded up as a envelope.
As a letter.
Mason takes 4 steps back now.
She's genuinely weighing the pros and cons.
Break all your bones in the body, not.
Possibly shrinking your internal organs.
They're already small.
No, we're not that desperate yet. But I'll keep the idea on the back burner.
Okay. Hi, Nox. And he just gives you a
He just
wide
looks down.
grin.
This is a long-term rivalry.
And he
Kelda
leaves.
kind
mystery.
of giggles a little bit under her breath at the rivalry between you guys when she's got such a lovely relationship with the mailman.
So shady. So shady.
Who?
If you need me, say send 3 times again.
Will do.
And he leaves.
Back to our discussion. Should we just relax here or go relay what we have learned?
So, wait, what did the mailman take?
Nothing.
He didn't take
Nothing.
anything.
Apparently
He's just-
thought
Oh,
we
okay.
wanted to send something.
He took
Yeah.
your soul, Nox.
He
Don't
wanted to
have
send
one.
it away.
He is the true BBEG.
I believe it.
He's a good friend
He's shady
and a
as fuck.
useful ally.
Shady. Shady.
I mean, we've already proved that I am also shady with my room full of maps.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you're... We can rest here until we feel at least a little better, but we should get going pretty soon. And although, like, I imagine the things we've been doing can kind of count towards the time of a short rest, and then we'll just finish a short rest and then go.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so you take a couple hours downtime. Go ahead.
while
Does
we're-
anyone need to roll anything for a short rest or no?
The only thing you might want to roll is health to get back.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure Mason, he only took like 1 point of damage. He really wasn't in the thick of it, so he's set.
Alright, anyone else?
I mean, I'll do it on my sheet. It'll do it automatically.
I think too, to be fair.
I think Nox
but
got
I
pretty
think I
battered
took a
last
hit.
time.
Well, we are doing a short rest. Mason would like to give Kelda something real quick.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to give her a piece of paper with a little bit of thieves' cant on it. That is kind of the symbol for ally.
Oh, they're sending love letters.
You know what this means?
I very much do. I kind of
Oh, so sweet.
give him essentially it looks kind of like a business card, but it's essentially the same kind of thing, just like as an identifier.
And
Do
he
any
kind
of you have a specific symbol, like let's say it's not in Thieves' Cant, but like someone outside who's like in the know would recognize that such symbol as like an ally of said person?
I do think my family would have one that I have continued using outside of Kraken's Republic, just because it's not just my own sources, but I'm also building things up for the family and like
Mm-hmm.
outreach. So it's my family's kind of symbol.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need to go to college so you can do networking.
Yeah.
Don't
Mason,
technically
since
need
he
to.
kind of is known as a private detective, he has his own business cards and like other assorted like letters and symbols that he likes to give out from time to time to identify his capabilities.
Okay. So me saying this is that those symbols would be on those pieces that you give
Yeah.
to each other.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone else want to do anything during the short rest?
I think Kelda kind of like um basically wants to know every piece of information about the situation that her wife might be in, her wife Aluna might be in at the moment, just so she's like prepared things at home for Aluna's recovery in the future.
Okay, so I imagine we're sitting in a place. Are you asking Fenrir about these things in front of everyone so that everyone can give you information, or are you just asking Fenrir about them?
I think given the little sigil exchange, she does ask in front of, at the very least, Mason. She doesn't really pay attention to it if Nox is in the room, just because she's overcome with this need.
I was trapped there for, I think it was like a 10-day, or like a week or something.
A couple weeks.
A couple weeks. Okay.
And
I was trapped there for a couple weeks while they helped me escape on their first night, I believe. I do not know why he keeps prisoners. I couldn't gather as much. He kept me locked up in silver chains in behind metal bars in the dark.
The silvered bars.
I never got to touch him.
I know. I'm just saying everything in your cell, he made it very apparent whenever he was
Yeah.
torturing you or anything, is that everything that you could touch would be made out of silver except for the floor, which was like stone.
So like, did he actively torture me himself?
Lightly. He mainly
so-
had somebody else do it.
Light torture.
What, for what purpose? Like, was he asking questions, or was he like
he
saying
was
not to do something? Or...
trying to get you onto his side, but every time you refused, he would torture
okay.
you further.
Okay, so he'll go like that. He chose conditions that were uniquely cruel to me, and threatened any disobedience.
She's kind of just like taking notes. It's like, okay. Whew. Okay.
From what I remember, the cells that these other came from were not like mine. So I imagine that either I was unique, or that he has unique cells for anyone he plans on keeping for a while.
That definitely makes sense. My wife is a gnome, so it would definitely have to be a different kind of cell, I suppose. Okay. Gnome, no wizard. She can be very tricky.
Well, if he were smart and knew of her capabilities, then I imagine she would be in a silenced room.
Nox, you would
Perhaps
chime in that
haunted.
point, and you would you would say yes, definitely smart.
Normally, such magics are difficult, if even impossible, in no man's land. But he had them for some reason. I was uncertain how. The whole castle contained magics. Could appear in the room without walking in. Doors changed places. Lighting did not stay with the directions of the land. It, it was maddening.
While you're talking, Kelda's kind of just clutching what to you looks like a lump of coal. It's just like, okay. Just using it as like a comfort item. Yeah, that's my bit.
Okay.
And
Anyone else have
Yeah,
anything to add?
Fenrir looks like a tad worried / sorry, but he also very clearly did not even hesitate to just kind of say all the true information.
yeah, Mason would be kind of like a little like, come on, man, but it's like she does need to know, so he's like holding back. She's like, she has a right to know. God.
Kelda is actually very grateful that you're not like dulling it down or anything, so she actually has what she needs, like, to prepare for at the very least mentally. For
Where
a
was
weird condition.
where was this castle at?
This was in No Man's Land. This was before you.
Yes, I definitely don't remember this.
Yeah, it's
So-
just Nox at this point, and Fenrir.
So,
Oh,
Kelda, do you know why she'd be in No Man's Land by any chance? Like,
Would there
why
be a
Ando would take...
reason?
I could see his men capturing anyone that he particularly wanted, but that would mean that he would particularly want them.
So, maybe something she knew.
Would there be anything that comes to mind? Yeah.
Gotta look back at your wife really quickly.
Yeah.
On her character sheet. Give me one second.
Oh, well, since I'm trying to be optimistic and all that, I will say he did seem the stubborn type. If he had decided that a prisoner would be a prisoner, I don't see him giving up on that stance for a long time.
Yes. Most times when you have prisoners like that, they can be seen as like an asset, and usually they don't try to get rid of that. So,
Kelda, did your wife
Yes.
specialize in any sort of magic?
I don't think we decided that.
Mm-mm. No. What kind of magic do you think they would specialize in?
Let me see. I think enchantment.
Enchantment. So
Yeah.
she could have been kidnapped because of her speciality with
Right.
the ability to enchant things.
I kind of related. Yeah, she's an enchantress.
Ooh. Enchantment is a very sought out, from what I know. A lot of great capabilities enchanters can do for different types of weaponry and different types of, you know, crafting capabilities.
I suppose what I know of enchanters is brainwashing kings and the such. That's what the fables say.
Okay.
All right, so a couple hours pass. It is now, I would say, like an hour or two from sunset. And are you guys gonna go out to the cross section?
We should go. We should go look at the site. Scout it out.
All right. I think Kelda kind of gives a questioning nod to Mason, as in, like, do you want to take the lead? Shall I take the lead? Just,
He,
rogue to rogue.
yeah, he's kind of like, you're a bit more familiar with the area than me. Kind of like, after you. But he's also being a gentleman, holding the door open for you.
All right. I think she goes, like, stealthy as soon as she's out the door. Uh, Getting to the place. Let me roll stealth.
Creeping down a public street.
Just trying not to be noticed necessarily. So that's a 19.
Yeah,
It's the
you're
best.
pretty
That's the best
unnoticeable.
thing to do.
Are we trying to all do that, or are we trying to have a visible group and a non-seen group?
I think
Uh,
Kelda instinctively is like, I'm going to scope out a place. I want to blend in.
I mean, she did it right outside the door. You guys can do it closer to the actual place. She just
Yeah.
did it immediately.
Fenrir will
Just
go ahead and
reaction.
clarify with them. Like, are we trying?
Just
Do we
act
not want
normal.
them to see us leave?
Just act normal till we get there. Then keep your heads a bit down low.
I think sneaking might be easier.
So are you all gonna roll stealth then?
Yeah.
No,
let's-
I was joking. Sneaking might be easier than acting normal.
Oh, yeah, okay then. Yeah, we'll walk normally till there, then we'll stealth.
Alright. So you walk up the street. Everyone roll me stealth. Except for Kelda, because she's already done that.
26.
Noise.
I'm gonna add a thing.
Okay.
Okay, 21.
Okay. So you are all stealthed as you get up to the alleyway. As you kind of go around and you sneak through the alleyway, there are like no people around. The place is pretty dead. As you get to the door is unlocked. It kind of just creaks as it opens very slowly. And you all are in the building, kind of just going around. Yeah.
Does it smell like anyone's been here recently?
Yes.
I do think as soon as we're inside, I cast Seed Visibility.
As you do so, you see nothing. As you go around, look around, it's a pretty standard abandoned business. As you go more into the business towards the back room, it's more just the same. There is a stairway going upstairs.
Definitely go up.
As you
Any
go,
particular direction the tracks go?
no, they're kind of muddled everywhere. It's been a while, so you can't get like a particular pathway sent of like where exactly they went. It's kind of just spread out everywhere.
Alright.
As you go upstairs, there are several rooms. As you go into each of them, there's nothing to note in any of the rooms. There's like some tables, some chairs. They're all pretty well abandoned, spider webs covering all of them, layers of dust on everything.
Any symbols and like thieves' cant or the like?
Nope.
Is there a basement?
There is a small hatch. As you open it, there is a ladder leading down. However, you cannot see the end of the ladder. And I think you have dark vision too, right?
What?
Thought you did. Everyone chooses races with dark vision. This is D&D 101.
The human.
Are you
What
are you
would I do?
are you a gnome or are you a halfling? I forgot.
I'm a halfling.
I don't think they do.
I don't
No.
think you do either. So
I'm
you can't
stealthy, I'm
see
lucky,
anything.
I'm brave.
Who does have dark vision? I think it's...
I do.
Yeah.
Nox has got the best dark vision.
So, Nox, as you go up behind her looking down this thing, you also cannot see the bottom.
As in it's 120 feet away, or as in it's got
No,
up,
no, no.
black-
Nox's dark vision is 300 feet.
As in, it goes really far down.
Okay.
And this isn't like, oh, it goes down, then there's a room, then it just continues to go down. No, it's just a single, like, pipe going all the way down. Nox is 300 feet? Really?
Yeah, it's a class thing.
That's far.
Twilight Cleric. Eyes
But you're
of
not
Night.
a Twilight Cleric anymore. You're the Wildfire.
The
No,
wildfire is
that I was a
druid.
Stars Druid and now I'm
Oh.
a Wildfire Druid. I'm still a Twilight Cleric.
Oh, I'm dumb.
You can't take that from me.
I'm not going to. I'm just like, wait a minute. I thought you did this, but I forgot that you're double class.
Yeah, I'm not twinkly anymore.
Nope.
I love it.
Anyways, this
Yes,
ladder
I've got
goes
300
down
feet dark
really
vision.
far. Past 300 feet. Which is a little bit past where the sewer system would be.
A little bit.
A little bit. Just a little. So, like, your 300 feet would go down to, like, the floor of the sewer system. If it was in complete darkness.
Fenrir's gonna go ahead and transform into hybrid form
Mm-hmm.
and suggest perhaps I will go first.
I'll be right behind you.
As you go down
Well-
one by one.
Yep.
It
Nox
takes
wouldn't
you-
take the ladder, he'd just walk down the side.
It takes you quite a while to get down. Nox, after, let's say, like 50 feet down, you finally see the floor.
Okay. Anything special about it, or just a floor?
It's just a floor, but you can actually see it now. So as you continue to go down and continue to go down, you find completely unbeknownst to you tunnels. Tunnels that Kelda you didn't even know existed underneath the city.
Kind of under her breath, it's like, I need maps of this.
As Nox, as you are climbing the walls, as you get down and you actually go to like the walls, you actually kind of slide a bit down to the floor. As you notice, these walls are freshly dug.
These were not here originally. It would say sort of like running a hand along the surface of the wall.
Mm-hmm.
This is recent.
Perhaps made for their purposes?
I'd be curious to know if this ritual was meant to channel energy down here.
Crazy to think how much they got done. I mean, not even you could see how far this goes.
Oh no, you guys are down now. You guys are on the floor.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, no.
For a second he didn't see, but it's like, it's crazy how much they were able to
No,
get
no,
all this
Nox only slid down to the floor when you guys reached the bottom. So
Okay.
I imagine Nox would come out, go along, and go like around the wall to kind of just like get up instead of being on the ceiling.
If it's pitch black down here,
Mm.
Kelda is just kind of, with no sight at all, just going, I need maps of this.
It's pitch
And I
black down
can't
here.
make them.
Mason would have his light cantrip going.
All right, so now it's no longer pitch black, but it's still very dark.
I'm sure Fenrir and Noct will be kind of leaning on the edge of the light, expecting you both to be in the center of it. And
Nox would sort of grumble at Mason's and say, "Put that out."
We still gotta be able to see.
Trust me, put it out.
Fine.
the best part is that it's really hard to do that. You kind of just gotta cover it up.
As
do you start going down the hallway?
Well,
well,
first,
hang on. In the dark, like everyone would see Nox's eyes sort of light up, and then that kind of glow spreads to each of the others, and they would all get his 300 foot of dark vision for an hour.
Okay.
Awesome. So I've got
Nox
that.
is
and
just
I've
like
got
eye contact.
see invisibility.
Eye contact.
No,
Eye contact. Go ahead.
I can see the invisible while in a place that I shouldn't be able to see at all.
Yep.
Nice.
As you go,
The center of the last city was the target we were looking for. So if they're channeling it down here, then we're in the right place.
as you go down, you find yourself in a large chamber. On the floor is the completed magic circle that was on the back of the diagram.
They've built
This
the
one
entire
actually-
thing this deep?
Wait, it's tiny, right? It's like size of no bigger than a room.
The center bit, but you can see as it goes off into other
okay.
hallways. but this center chamber is, I would say, probably like a 20 by 20.
Kelda kind of turns to Nox and is like, if I mess with the magic circle down here, will it blow anything else up?
I doubt
I
it'll
can
blow
tell
anything
you
up,
right
but
now that this magic circle is not activated.
I'm kind of thinking of like messing it up in a way that it wouldn't activate.
Roll me Arcana.
Yeah, not the best of Arcana.
that'll be less than me.
I got
We're
no
not a
other-
very smart group.
Speak for yourself. Mason actually does have proficiency with Arcana.
Wow, Mason, the only
Oh,
smart
do
one
the
in
do.
Arcana.
Yeah, but do you have like a high intelligence too? It's hard to have both.
Actually, he has a +2, so
Oh, okay,
he has
that's
a plus.
decent.
Yeah, he has +6 for Arcana.
It's pretty
If
decent.
you should probably do that then.
Oh, okay. How about you just say, Emil? You basically pitch the idea, and it's like Mason just starts
Yeah.
thinking about it.
Yeah.
Okay. 24.
All right.
How about
As
that,
you're
DM?
looking at this magic circle, you notice that there are certain symbols within the magic circle that you believe to be catalysts that are needed and able to activate this magic circle. So if you slightly just change one of the catalysts, the magic circle would inactivate.
Right, I'm telling everybody this. I'm basically just saying all this out loud as I'm like examining everything.
I want to imagine that you see a couple of them. It's like, if I change this one, there will be an infinite loading error.
Does not
And-
compute. Does not compute. Does not
No,
compute.
Just check, how is
No,
this?
it's the magic equivalent of seeing the circle spinning and it never stops.
Yeah.
And just to check, how are these like embedded? Are they like drawn on? Are they like
They're drawn on with
carved?
chalk.
Chalk. Does anyone have any chalk?
We must
Have
have,
you been
surely.
in that makeshift?
I
painter's
believe
kit.
a painter's kit has chalk in it.
So I made a
Doesn't actually.
makeshift one.
Yeah.
And given
so-
that Nox has done ritual circles before,
Nox would probably
And-
also have a piece of chalk too, since you have done ritual circles before as well.
Fenrir
Mason
wants to start sniffing around and seeing if anyone's been here recently.
And people have been here recently. Kind of going everywhere, but all along the magic circle. So people have been recently drawing this magic circle.
Okay.
Are
I
any
guess
of
I'll
them
mention it.
the person from the rooftop?
No.
All right. Well, whenever you finish, I would like to look around and see if we can find a headquarters near here. Could imagine leaders not needing to be seen, wanting to stay near where they need to be.
So Mason, you change the magic circle a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. So you do so. You change it. Fenrir, do you go around trying to find a main, like, command post?
Yeah.
Or... Okay, so as you kind of go around, these hallways are pretty much constructed solely for the magic circle itself. As you go around, this is the room you are in. It takes you a while, but as you go through, you end up back at that main room, and that main room is really only the big hub. Everything else is just singular, like, straight lines for the magic circle itself.
We'll just be wandering in front of them, and it's like, I did not find an obvious door, although an inobvious one could have been missed.
Oh, I could help with that. I can go around looking for some secret doors.
We'll nod and be like, yes. It is possible that they only have this place for the final day. And even if so, we could. As long as we find time, we know where to meet them. It's less of a surprise than I might like, but they don't have to know we're gonna be here.
So yeah, I go looking for secret doors along the same kind of path that Fenrir just made.
Alright, so Fenrir went through part of it, because to go through all of it would take a couple hours, and you don't have a couple hours with your dark vision. So as you go around, it's the same thing. These walls are pretty crumbly. Like no reinforcement for them. The only reinforcement is really the ceiling. And for that, most of it's like solid pieces of stone that can keep themselves up and have like a narrow pathway underneath.
Let's hope they at least got some dwarves here, otherwise they're gonna have cave-ins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are some supports every now and again, but they're not pretty frequent. But as I've restated before, you don't find anything.
Awesome.
Are there any
I
kind
do
of
have another
traps?
question.
Okay.
So the hatch that we came through,
Mm-hmm.
is that within a mile of my home?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. Because in that case, when we're on the way back, I'll cast alarm on the hatch. But that's when we leave.
Did you say a mile or feet?
Mile.
A mile. So a mental alarm alerts you with a ping in your mind if you're within 1 mile of the warded area.
Oh,
This
okay.
ping awakens you if you're sleeping.
Yeah,
Hey,
I would say. So, yeah.
I want to point out something I learned last session from one of my players. Apparently you can ritually cast multiple alarms,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll all function fine.
Yep, you can.
Wait, can rogues ritually cast?
I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole today. Because that's gonna be a large rabbit hole that I don't want to go down right now.
You're
Anywho.
only a arcanic rogue.
Yeah, arcane trickster.
I can check that real quick.
Alright, so if you're alarming the door, then I assume that everyone's leaving now?
You can pick what trickles the alarm to. You can actually make it so that we don't trip
Yeah.
it.
So it's tiny or larger creature touches or enters the warded area, and you can choose whether the alarm is mental. Yeah, and that you can designate creatures that won't set off the alarm. So yeah.
So, I assume you all leave then.
Yeah, Mason
Yep.
already did his sabotaging, so not much else he can do.
Alright, so, and I assume you get out of there as quickly as possible. So back to
Yeah.
Kelda's house. As you reach back to Kelda's house, nothing goes off. And now you're just lying in wait.
Yeah, rogues do not get ritual casting.
Nope.
Oh well.
Alright, so if we find when they need to be there, or even if we just react to them going in, we'll hopefully find the leaders there then. The... What do we want to tell the mistress?
Just give her the information.
Yeah, I don't think there's much point in hiding anything. Just as well tell her all that we know.
Her reactions may teach us something we don't know.
Immediately or tomorrow?
Either way, I'll probably
Well-
have to stay here just to stay within range of the alarm.
Do we know if she'll even be available right now?
Is that not where she lives?
You can always send a letter, Moreau says as he enters the room.
No.
We didn't say it 3 times, damn it.
No, that's the cat.
Yeah, I know. Just
Still.
yeah.
Fenrir's gonna repeat. Is that not where she lives?
No.
He doesn't know how schools work.
Moreau is gonna be like, I don't think so.
If she has us being followed, she would know we were on our way.
So, are we staying here for the night and waiting till tomorrow?
I don't see why not, unless anybody wants to do it. Yeah,
Doesn't
want
seem
to?
particularly time sensitive. I could do it, but I'm not certain if you want me to be the one negotiating.
There's no negotiation about it. All we wish to do is give her the information and see if she can help us.
Mm-hmm.
If you think it's time sensitive enough, I could bring it. I'm not tired.
Let's wait and see if anything triggers. We'll give it till the morning.
Alright.
Alrighty. And
Gelda, do you have defenses up, or should we make sure no one sneaks in during the night?
Should be fine, I think. I've never had an issue. She kind of just doesn't really think about it actively. All her
But
protective
we have
stuff
more
is usually
enemies
for when
here now
at work.
than you're certain you normally do. I'm not certain the magic capabilities of this place. Everything is not what it seems.
I guess. Would I'll let you decide this, DM. Would my wife have set magical defenses in place that
Oh, most
lasted while she was
definitely.
gone?
most definitely there would be passive. There would more than likely be, um, let me see if I got this straight. If someone ritual casts it and let's say it's like an auditory alarm, even if they're not around, the alarm still will go off, right?
Yes, though it only lasts for an hour. I don't think you can make it last longer. But I would also like, for some spells, there's a rule where if you cast it every night for a year, it's just default from that point on.
Yeah, I don't know if
and
alarm's one of those. Is it?
Alarm doesn't say it, but also not very many spells say it. I think it's not too unreasonable to say that it works that way because
I
players
think
never get a
alarm would
chance to
work
do it
that
anyway.
way, and I think she has done it that many times that that is a default. So if glass breaks, like one of the windows breaks, an auditory alarm would go off in the house.
Right. So yeah, I mentioned that, and it was like, yeah, we've got it set up, alarm system. So you can just go to sleep.
All right.
Did
Well,
tell
if
you
we
guys
can,
best rooms, didn't I?
I hope you don't mind if I relax tonight.
Go ahead. Did I show you guys the guest rooms?
No, I don't think so.
I think
We've
I
been
have
here for
hung
less
up.
than a day.
I would say by
Alright,
this
so
point you've been here for like 2 days, but you guys never formally went
Thought
into
about
like
it.
the
yeah,
guest rooms.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
we do have a couple with beds that should fit you guys. Let's see. As you kind of goes around just checking. There's only a couple rooms, because it is just the two of them, but it is a big house for a halfling and a gnome. Just shows them some rooms that they should fit nicely in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you
For
guys
Nox,
take.
and I assume Fenrir, you're at your full size. They are just barely able to fit you two because you two are pretty tall boys.
Mason doesn't mind sleeping on the ground if that was needed.
I think Fenrir is more comfortable sleeping on the ground if that's needed.
Yeah, because just as a reminder, Kelda is 3'1".
Yeah.
And Nox is like 7 foot, so
I'm sure if you have guests, they're just as often 5 foot at least.
yeah.
At least around there.
Yep. And you guys relax for the night. And that is where we're going to leave off for this session. Fenrir, I'll talk to you about combat later.
Okay.
It won't be today, it'll be like later because I gotta figure out what's gonna be that. And
Also-
we will see you all next week. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Later.
Bye.